Hi friends, today we are going to learn how to crochet. So to get started with crochet, first you need a hook. With crochet, you only have one hook, you don't have two needles like with knitting. And they come in different sizes, and you usually need to find the size that works well with the size yarn that you are using. So for today I'm using this rainbow cotton yarn, and this hook is a little too big for this yarn. It would make really big holes and it would be hard to see, so we don't want our big one. I think this one could be a good one, but it is maybe a little too small, so I'm going to use the purple one with this specific yarn today. The very first thing you have to do is called a chain. So to start your chain, you need a slip knot. I'm holding the yarn in my fingers like this. So I have the end between my thumb and first finger, and I have the rest of the yarn between my middle and ring fingers. I'm gonna take this part and hold it between these two fingers. I'm gonna pull it a little bit so I've got some room. I'm gonna twist it so that it's wrapped around this finger. Put my other finger in there, and I want to grab the yarn and pull it through to make a knot. This is called a slip knot because it can slip that piece of yarn back and forth to make the hole bigger. Okay, we'll do that again. So I'm holding the very end of the yarn with my thumb and finger, and then holding the rest of the yarn between my middle and ring finger. I'm going to make a loop by pinching this, twisting, and sticking my fingers through. And then we want to grab the yarn, pull it through that loop to make a slip knot. And I can help you with that as I'm going around, but this is our very first step, is to make a slip knot. Then we want to put our hook through our slip knot and pull on it so that it goes tight to our hook. Now, the way I like to hold my crochet hook is like a pencil. So I have my ring finger underneath, and I have my thumb on top and my finger on the edge. Then I like to hold this piece of yarn with my finger down here sometimes. No. What do? I hold it down here. Just kidding. So that I can still hold my hook like a pencil, but I keep this yarn over this finger so that I have the yarn that I need already ready, already close to where my hook is. I hold this tail between my thumb and my middle finger so it doesn't go away. And I keep this yarn up because what I'm going to do is take this hook, I'm going to come underneath. I'm going to grab this yarn with this hook and pull it, and it's going to go through the bottom of this loop right here. So I made a new loop on my hook, and it came through that loop. So that loop is now hooked onto my yarn, and I have another loop that is called chaining. I made chain 1. And I need to make lots of chains in a row to get my crochet started. So holding my yarn over my finger like this so that I can just take this hook, go under, grab it, and pull it through the loop. Under, grab it, pull it through. And this takes a lot of practice. I want you guys to practice making chains before we do anything else. Under, pull through. And if you notice, some are smaller and some are bigger. That's because how loose or tight I hold my thread changes what size the loops are. All right, friends, so one more time. We have our yarn. We need to make our slip knot by pulling this piece of yarn, making a loop, grabbing one piece of yarn and pulling it through that loop to make a knot. Then we're going to put that onto our hook and pull it so that it's nice and snug, but it's not too tight. We're holding our hook like we do a pencil with our ring finger, pointer finger, and thumb, holding onto our hook right where it's got our little grippy spot. I like to keep my yarn over this finger so it is ready for me to grab, and I hold onto this yarn with my thumb and middle finger. Then I can go under, grab, and pull through this little loop. Now, it's even difficult for me sometimes if I pull it too tight or if it gets a little weird. So it's okay if you don't get it the first time, okay? So we want to make sure that knot is not too tight so that we do have room to pull it through. We're going to go under, grab, pull through. That is one chain. Under, grab, pull through. That's two. Keep doing that until you have a pretty good sized chain. And then we're going to practice learning how to do a single crochet. That is the most basic way of making your piece bigger, and it is what we're going to use in our projects once we understand how to do our crochet. So I'm going to stop right here just to show you how it works. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chains. I'm going to chain an extra 1, 2. But I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to put it into this loop right here. So right inside that little space, I'm going to put my hook. I'm going to wrap my yarn so that my hook can grab onto it and pull it through that loop. So now I have 2 loops on my hook. I need to grab the yarn, hook it, and pull that yarn through both of those loops to make a single crochet. Okay, so that's where I did my extra chains to make it taller, and then this is my single crochet. And that's what we're going to do in every other space so that we have a line of single crochets. So I still have my yarn over my finger. I'm holding on to my chains with this hand, and I'm holding on to my hook with this hand. I'm going to take my hook and go through, not this loop because I've already gone into it. It's already got a chain, it's already got a crochet in there. So the next one that's empty, I'm going to put my hook into. I'm going to wrap my yarn so that my hook can grab it and pull it through that space. So I've got my 2 loops on my hook, grab my yarn one more time and pull it through both of those loops. So now I have my 2 single crochets in my chain so far. So again, I've already gone in this one. I'm going to go to the next one that's empty, put my hook, wrap it, pull it, pull it. Okay, now what happens if I forget and I pull it through both? That is called a slip stitch. That we only do if we're trying to connect things without making it taller. But right now our goal is to make it taller, so that is not correct. But the cool thing is I can just take my hook back out and pull on that yarn and it undoes it. I don't want to pull too hard because I don't want to undo the rest of my work, but I can fix it just by pulling the yarn. Okay, so going in there, wrapping, pulling through 1, wrap, pull through 2. And I'm just going to finish up the rest of this one so that you can see. Once you get going, it's easy to just keep doing the same thing over and over again. It helps calm my mind. All right, I'm in my last one, wrap, pull through, wrap, pull through 2. Okay, so now I have my single crochets in my chain that I made. Now to make this taller, I can do what I did earlier, and I can make 2 chains right here. So I can wrap the yarn around, pull it through the hoop, wrap and pull. So now I have it taller, and then I can turn it over so it's upside down, but this is where I make my next ones. And then this is the space where they're going to be. Instead of in the chain, this is where I put my hook to make my next crochet. So these chains already belong to this space, so I don't want to go in this space. I'm going to skip it and go to the next one. I'm going to put my hook into this empty space right here, grab my yarn, pull it through. So I've got my 2 loops, grab, pull through 2. So now I have my second rows of single crochets. So I'm going to the next one. This one's already got a crochet in it. Going to the next empty space, put my hook in, grab, pull through, wrap, pull through 2. So I've done 2 single crochets in my second row. I'm going to finish this second row so that you can see the same thing over and over again. This is called splitting your yarn, and that's okay. That just means that before we go any further, we need to take our hook out and we need to put it back into the loop like it's supposed to be. Or if I only go through part of that space and not both of the spaces, that also is a problem. We want to make sure we got 2 little pieces of yarn on top of our hook when we're going through that hole before we wrap our yarn and pull it through. There's lots of little things that can mess up in crochet, but once you understand what to look for and how it works, it's easy to fix and easy to avoid. And there we go. We've got 2 rows of single crochet in our rainbow cotton yarn. And I can keep doing that. I can keep chaining 2 at the end and going taller and taller and taller until I am ready to make whatever I am making. So we're going to practice doing rows of single crochets in a flat pattern like this before we learn how to put it all together in the round and make some cool stuff.